155 Facts about night. Close your eyes or let them soften on the screen. Let the weight of the day settle, just as the dust settles on a quiet road. We are going on a journey back, far back, before the hum of electricity, before the glow of streetlights. We are going to the time when the night was a kingdom all its own. Fact 1. The entity of night. To the ancients, night wasn't simply the absence of the sun. It was a presence, physical thing. In the oldest Greek creation myths, night was a goddess named Nyx, a figure of such immense power and beauty that even Zeus, the king of the gods, was afraid to upset her. She did not just bring darkness. She brought rest and dreams, and the quiet resolve of the universe. Fact 2. The darkness we've lost. Imagine looking up and seeing a sky so bright it casts shadows. Before the invention of artificial light, the night sky was a terrifyingly brilliant canopy. The Milky Way was so bright that it could cast distinct shadows on the ground, a phenomenon almost impossible to see in the modern world. This was the ceiling under which humanity slept for thousands of years. Fact 3. The first calendar. Under this blanket of diamonds, our ancestors sought order. They didn't look to the sun to mark the passing of long periods of time. They looked to the night. The very first calendars created by humans were not solar, but lunar. Nearly 30,000 years ago, ancient people carved tally marks into bone to track the phases of the moon, making the night sky our first true clock. Fact 4. The Egyptian sky. Across the sands of Egypt, the story of the night was one of consumption and rebirth. The ancient Egyptians believed the sky was the goddess Nut. Her body arched over the earth, clad in stars. Every evening, she was believed to swallow the sun god Ra, bringing the darkness, only to give birth to him again at dawn. Night was not an end, but a gestation, a time of preparing for new life. Fact 5. The watches. As civilizations grew, we tried to measure this darkness. But we didn't use hours like we do today. The Romans and Greeks did not sleep through one solid block of time. They divided the night into 4 vigils or watches, roughly 3 hours each, used primarily for military guards to rotate shifts. The night was a series of changing guards, a structured silence. Fact 6. Biphasic sleep. And for the common people, sleep itself was different. For most of human history, people practiced biphasic sleep, sleeping in 2 distinct shifts. They would sleep for 4 hours, wake up for an hour in the middle of the night to pray, talk, or think, and then sleep for a second sleep until morning. The night had a break in the middle, a quiet hour that belonged only to the soul. Fact 7. The sound of silence. Imagine the silence, real silence, without engines, hums, or electronics. The ambient noise floor of the ancient night was nearly 0 decibels, allowing people to hear sounds from miles away that would be completely inaudible to modern ears. The snap of a twig or the call of an owl was a thunderclap in the void. Fact 8. Navigation. Yet this darkness was not a wall. It was a map. Polynesian wayfinders could navigate thousands of miles of open ocean at night without a compass, using only the rising and setting points of specific stars and the feel of the ocean swells that were invisible to the eye. The night spoke to those who knew how to listen. Fact 9. The fire. And finally, our first defense against the dark. Controlled fire, dating back nearly 400,000 years, changed the human circadian rhythm. It allowed us to stay awake past sunset, effectively extending our day and creating the first stories told around the warmth of the hearth. It was here, in the circle of light, that culture was born. Fact 10. The bell of the evening. As we move forward in time, the night becomes a regulated kingdom. In the medieval towns of Europe, the night did not begin when you closed your eyes. It began with a bell. The word curfew comes from the old French phrase couvre-feu, meaning cover fire. It wasn't originally about keeping people indoors, but a safety law requiring all hearth fires to be covered or extinguished at the ringing of a bell to prevent wooden villages from burning down while people slept. The bell was a lullaby of safety. Fact 11. The Great Bed. Once the fires were dampened, the household retreated. But they did not retreat into solitude. Privacy is a modern luxury. In the ancient and medieval world, sleeping was a communal activity where entire families, and sometimes even their livestock, slept together in one large bed for warmth and protection. The night was a shared experience, a huddle of life against the cold. Fact 12. The Unclad Sleeper. In this shared warmth, the layers of the day were shed completely. For centuries, nightwear did not exist. Until the 16th century, most people in the Western world slept completely naked, as pajamas and nightgowns were considered unnecessary expenses and difficult to wash. We entered the world of dreams exactly as we entered the world of life, without costume. Fact 13. Measuring the shadows. But how did they know when the night was ending? If you woke in the dark, how did you know if dawn was near? Before mechanical clocks, people used candle clocks. Candles with specific markings that would burn at a steady rate, allowing the sleepless to measure the passing of the night by the melting of the wax. Time was not a ticking hand. It was a slow, disappearing flame. Fact 14. The Garden of the Moon. Outside the window, not everything slept. Some beauty was designed specifically for the darkness. Wealthy ancients and medieval monks often planted moon gardens, filled exclusively with white or pale flowers like jasmine and moonflowers, which were designed to reflect moonlight and release their fragrance only after the sun went down. The garden was a different world at night, one of scent and silver light. Fact 15. The Living Lanterns. In the wilder places, the darkness had its own electricity. Travelers often spoke of fairy fire. Before flashlights, travelers would sometimes use jars filled with glowworms or fireflies to guide their path. These creatures produce light through a chemical reaction called bioluminescence, which is 100% efficient energy, creating light with almost zero heat. Cold light for a cold night. Fact 16. The Twinkling Star. If the traveler looked up, they would see the stars dancing. But this dance is an illusion of our own air. Stars do not actually twinkle. The flickering effect, known as scintillation, is caused by the Earth's turbulent atmosphere bending the starlight as it travels to your eye. Planets, being closer and appearing as disks rather than points, do not twinkle. The sparkle is the signature of the air we breathe. Fact 17. The Chemistry of Sight. As you stare into the dark, your body changes. You are shape-shifting. It takes the human eye roughly 20 to 30 minutes to fully adapt to darkness, a process driven by the production of a protein called rhodopsin, or visual purple, which instantly bleaches and destroys itself upon exposure to bright light. This is why the ancients protected their night vision so fiercely. Fact 18. The Watchman. In the cities, the silence was broken by a reassuring voice. The night watchman was a fixture of medieval cities, walking the streets not just to catch criminals, but to cry out the hour and the weather, serving as a human clock that reassured the sleeping citizens that someone was awake and the world was safe. 12 o'clock and all is well. Fact 19. The Healing Dream. And finally, if sleep was elusive or troubled, the ancients sought a cure in the divine. Ancient Greeks practiced dream incubation in temples dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine. They believed that if they slept in these sacred spaces, the god would visit them in a dream and diagnose their illness or provide a cure. They did not sleep to escape reality, but to heal it. Fact 20. The Invisible Tether. As we drift deeper into the night, we feel a pull. A literal pull. The moon is not just a lantern. It is a magnet. The moon's gravitational pull creates a tidal bulge on the Earth. The ocean water on the side of Earth facing the moon is pulled toward it, creating high tides, but the Earth itself is also pulled, leaving the water on the opposite side behind to create a second high tide. The Earth breathes in and out with the movement of the night. Fact 21. The ghostly curtains. Sometimes the darkness is painted. In the far north, the sky comes alive. The aurora borealis, or northern lights, are actually the result of a violent collision. They occur when charged particles from the sun slam into the Earth's magnetic field, channeling energy into the atmosphere that glows in specific colors depending on the gas. Oxygen glows green, nitrogen glows purple. It is a silent storm of light. Fact 22. Looking into the past. When you look up at this light, you are not seeing the present. You are a time traveler. Because light takes time to travel across the vastness of space, looking at the night sky is literally looking back in time. The light you see from the star Betelgeuse left its surface over 600 years ago, roughly around the time of the Middle Ages on Earth. The night sky is a history book written in light. Fact 23. The half-sleepers. Back on Earth, beneath the waves, sleep looks very different. Some creatures cannot afford to drift away completely. Dolphins and whales practice unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, meaning they shut down only one half of their brain at a time to rest, while the other half stays awake to surface for air and watch for predators. They sleep with one eye open, forever wandering the ocean night. Fact 24. The sleeping garden. On land, the greenery around us also rests. Many plants exhibit a behavior called nyctinasty, a circadian rhythm where leaves or petals close up at night. Scientists believe this may protect the plant's pollen from getting wet with dew or protect it from nocturnal herbivores. Even the flowers tuck themselves in. Fact 25. The secret map. While the flowers sleep, the travelers awaken. High above, millions of birds are on the move. Most songbirds that migrate do so exclusively at night to avoid overheating and predators. Experiments have shown that indigo buntings learn to identify the North Star and the rotation of the constellations to navigate their way south. They are guided by the same stars that guided the sailors. Fact 26. The scent of the void. If you could travel up to those stars beyond the atmosphere, what would the night smell like? Astronauts returning from spacewalks consistently report that the vacuum of space leaves a distinct lingering odor on their suits, described as smelling like seared steak, hot metal, or welding fumes, a result of dying stars creating high-energy compounds. The darkness has the scent of burning energy. Fact 27. The shepherd's star. Often, the first light we see in the evening isn't a star at all. The planet Venus is known as both the evening star and the morning star, because its orbit inside Earth's allows it to be the first bright object visible at dusk and the last to fade at dawn. It is the herald of the night, and the herald of the day. Fact 28. Omens. In the ancient world, if a new light appeared, it was a message. For millennia, comets were viewed not as celestial bodies but as bad stars or omens of doom. The word comet comes from the Greek komets, meaning long-haired, describing the tail that looked like a woman's hair flowing in the wind. They were beautiful intruders in the order of the night. Fact 29. The scale of darkness. And as we end this hour of thought, consider the scale of what you are seeing. There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth combined. Yet, with the naked eye on the darkest night, you can only see about 2,500 of them. What we see is merely the front porch of an infinite mansion. Fact 30. The nightly cleanse. As we turn our gaze from the stars above to the universe inside our own heads, we find that sleep is not a passive act. It is a busy shift for the body. Only discovered recently, the brain has a unique waste clearance system called the glymphatic system, which becomes 60% more active while you sleep, literally flushing out toxins and waste proteins that build up during the day. The night is when your mind takes a shower. Fact 31. The librarian. Once the cleaning begins, the sorting starts. Your brain does not shut down, it organizes. During deep sleep, the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory, replays the day's events at high speed to the neocortex, moving short-term memories into long-term storage, a process known as consolidation. You are writing the story of your life while you sleep. Fact 32. The sudden fall. But sometimes the drift into sleep is interrupted. You feel a sudden sensation of falling. This phenomenon is called a hypnic jerk. Scientists believe it is an evolutionary holdover from when our primate ancestors slept in trees, and the brain misinterprets muscle relaxation as falling, jolting the body awake to catch itself. It is a ghost memory from a time before beds. Fact 33. The safety lock. Once you are safely past the fall, your body engages a lock. To prevent you from acting out your dreams and injuring yourself, your brain releases two chemicals, glycine and GABA, during REM sleep that effectively paralyze your major skeletal muscles, a state called REM atonia. You are a mind flying free in a body that is anchored to the earth. Fact 34. The cooling. To enter this state, the fire within you must dim. For humans to fall asleep successfully, their core body temperature must drop by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. This is why you instinctively stick a foot out from under the covers or flip the pillow to the cool side. The night demands a cooling of the blood. Fact 35. The color of dreams. And then the theater begins. But the colors of this theater have changed over time. A study found that people who grew up watching black and white television in the 1950s often dream in grayscale, while those who grew up with color TV almost exclusively dream in color. Our technology has colored our subconscious. Fact 36. The brain cooler. Even the act of getting tired has a purpose. Think of the yawn. We do not yawn simply because we are bored or need oxygen. Current research suggests yawning acts as a brain cooling mechanism, where the deep intake of cool air regulates the temperature of the brain to keep you alert or prepare you for sleep. It is a fan turning on in a computer. Fact 37. The vampire hormone. As darkness falls, a chemical messenger is dispatched. Melatonin, often called the hormone of darkness, is inhibited by light. Even a small amount of blue light from a phone screen can halt its production instantly, tricking the brain into believing it is still noon. We are creatures designed to sync with the sun. Fact 38. The sound of rain. To help the mind settle, we often seek sound. But not just any sound. While white noise contains all frequencies equally, pink noise, like the sound of rain, wind, or rustling leaves, is deeper and more balanced, and studies show it specifically improves deep sleep and memory retention in older adults. The sound of nature is a lullaby for the aging mind. Fact 39. The beauty repair. Finally, while you rest, you are being rebuilt. The phrase beauty sleep is not a myth. During deep sleep, the body releases a surge of growth hormone which stimulates collagen production and repairs cell damage caused by UV rays and stress during the day. You wake up literally newer than when you went to bed. Fact 40. The silent hunter. While we sleep, the rulers of the night wake up. And the true king of the night sky does not roar. It whispers. Owls are the only birds that fly in near total silence. The leading edge of their wing feathers is serrated like a comb, which breaks up turbulence and muffles the whoosh sound of air, allowing them to hear their prey while flying. Silence is their weapon. Fact 41. The glowing eyes. If you shine a light into the darkness, you might see eyes staring back. The eye shine seen in cats, dogs, and deer is caused by a mirror-like layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum, which reflects light back through the eye a second time, giving the animal a second chance to see the image. They literally recycle the light. Fact 42. The sixth sense. Some creatures do not need light at all. They see with sound. Bats can detect objects as thin as a human hair in total darkness using echolocation. They emit calls up to 130 decibels, louder than a rock concert, but at a frequency too high for humans to hear, creating a 3D acoustic map of the world. They shout to see the silence. Fact 43. The forest ghost. On the forest floor, the wood itself is watching. Certain fungi, known as foxfire, glow in the dark due to a chemical reaction aimed at attracting insects to spread their spores. This eerie green glow on rotting wood was often used by early settlers to mark trails through dark forests. A natural lighthouse in the decay. Fact 44. The sleeping giant. Not all animals enjoy the luxury of a long night's rest. Giraffes have one of the shortest sleep requirements of any mammal. They often sleep for only 30 minutes a day, usually in short power naps of just a few minutes at a time, often while standing up to remain ready to run. To them, the night is just a series of blinks. Fact 45. The whisker compass. In the murky waters where light cannot reach, touch becomes sight. Seals and sea lions can track fish swimming hundreds of feet away just by using their whiskers to detect the hydrodynamic trail, the wake left behind by the fish in the water, even minutes after the fish has passed. They are reading the memory of the water. Fact 46. The impossible journey. Even the smallest travelers use the night sky. Dung beetles are the only known insect to navigate using the Milky Way. When they roll their dung balls, they look up at the band of stars to ensure they are moving in a straight line away from competitors. They align the humblest earth with the grandest sky. Fact 47. The night shift. Some beauty is reserved only for the dark. The queen of the night cactus blooms only once a year, and only at night. Its white flower opens rapidly after sunset and is dead by dawn, a fleeting spectacle of beauty that exists for a single evening. It is a performance for an audience of shadows. Fact 48. The venomous cuddle. But do not be fooled by the cute faces you find in the dark. The slow loris, a nocturnal primate, is the only venomous primate in the world. It licks a gland on its arm to mix venom with its saliva, delivering a toxic bite to predators or rivals in the dark. The night hides many dangers. Fact 49. The deep freeze. And for some, the winter night is a pause button on life itself. The wood frog survives the freezing winter nights by allowing up to 65% of the water in its body to turn to ice, stopping its heart and brain completely, only to thaw out and hop away when spring returns. It is a resurrection every year. Fact 50. The witching hour. As humans, we have filled the darkness with our fears. We gave the night a deadline. In European folklore, the witching hour is typically believed to be between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. This specific time was chosen because it is the inversion of 3 p.m., the time Christ was said to have died, making 3 a.m. the hour when divine protection is weakest. Fact 51. The mare. When we sleep, we are vulnerable to what visits us. The word nightmare comes from the Old English mare, a mythological demon or goblin that was believed to ride on people's chests while they slept, causing a feeling of suffocation and bad dreams. The monster was not in your head. It was on your chest. Fact 52. The dream catcher. To fight these terrors, we built traps. The Ojibwe people created the dream catcher based on the legend of the Spider Woman. The web is intended to catch bad dreams, which perish in the first light of day, while good dreams pass through the hole in the center and slide down the feathers to the sleeper. Filter for the soul. Fact 53. The moon madness. We have long suspected the night of changing our minds. The words lunacy and lunatic come from the Latin word luna, moon, stemming from the ancient belief that the phases of the moon, specifically the full moon, caused temporary insanity or erratic behavior in humans. We blamed the sky for our own chaos. Fact 54. The Sandman. For the children, we invented gentler guardians. The character of the Sandman originates from the rheum, or grit found in the corner of your eyes when you wake up. Folklore turned this biological residue into magical dust sprinkled by a benevolent spirit to bring sleep. Evidence of a magical visitor. Fact 55. The fear of dark. But the fear remains primal. Nyctophobia, the extreme fear of the dark, is not actually a fear of the absence of light, but a fear of what the darkness conceals. Evolutionary psychologists believe this is an innate survival trait inherited from ancestors who were preyed upon by nocturnal predators. We are wired to be afraid. Fact 56. The blue shift. As the light fades, our vision betrays us in strange ways. Due to the Purkinje effect, as light levels drop, the human eye becomes more sensitive to the blue end of the spectrum and less sensitive to red. This causes red flowers to look black at night, while blue objects appear unnaturally bright and ghostly. The world changes color in the dark. Fact 57. He counting of sheep. If sleep still won't come, we turn to boredom. The advice to count sheep comes from an old tale of a storyteller who fell asleep while telling a king a story about a shepherd moving hundreds of sheep across a river one by one. The endless repetition was designed to bore the brain into a slumber, a mental treadmill. Fact 58. The vampire's son. We created monsters that could not survive the day. The myth that vampires burn in sunlight is actually a modern invention. In the original folklore and even in Bram Stoker's Dracula, the vampire could walk in the sun, though his powers were weakened. The idea of burning was popularized by the 1922 film Nosferatu as a visual way to kill the monster. Cinema changed the monster. Fact 59. The midnight sun. And finally, there are places where the night never comes. Inside the Arctic and Antarctic circles, the phenomenon of the midnight sun means the sun can remain visible at local midnight for days or even months. Conversely, during the polar night, the sun does not rise at all for weeks. A world without a bedtime. Fact 60. The second sun. In 1879, humanity declared independence from the sun. The night changed forever. While Thomas Edison is credited with the light bulb, he didn't invent the first one. He invented the first commercially practical incandescent light, using a carbonized bamboo filament that could burn for over 1,200 hours. We built our own suns and hung them in our parlors. Fact 61. The vanishing galaxy. But this victory came with a cost. We erased the stars. Today, due to light pollution or sky glow, more than 80% of the world's population, and 99% of Europeans and Americans, live under light-polluted skies and can no longer see the Milky Way from their homes. We traded the galaxy for the street lamp. Fact 62. Measuring the dark. We have lost so much darkness that we now have to measure how little is left. Astronomers use the Bortle scale to measure the quality of the night sky. It ranges from Class 1, an ancient pitch-black sky where the Milky Way casts shadows, to Class 9, an inner-city sky where only the moon and a few planets are visible. Most of us live in a Class 8 or 9. Fact 63. The confused chorus. The animals are confused by our artificial day. Urban robins and blackbirds have begun singing at night instead of the morning. Scientists believe this is partly due to artificial light triggering their dawn response, but also because the city is too loud during the day for their songs to be heard. They sing to the streetlights. Fact 64. The false moon. For some, the lights are deadly. Hatchling sea turtles rely on the reflection of the moon and stars on the water to find the ocean. Beachside hotels and streetlights often confuse them, causing them to crawl inland toward the artificial light and their death. We have rearranged their compass. Fact 65. The border from space. From high above, the lights tell a political story. Satellite images of the Korean peninsula at night show a stark contrast. South Korea is blazing with light, while North Korea appears almost completely black, a void of darkness visible from space that outlines the country's borders perfectly. The economy is written in photons. Fact 66. The graveyard shift. Our biology was not built for this 24-hour world. The World Health Organization has classified night shift work as a Group 2A carcinogen, probably cancer-causing, because the disruption of the circadian rhythm and suppression of melatonin is linked to higher rates of breast and prostate cancer. The body fights the unnatural hours. Fact 67. The blue revolution. The color of our night is changing too. From warm orange to harsh white. The invention of the blue LED, which won the Nobel Prize in 2014, allowed for energy-efficient white streetlights. However, these lights emit more blue wavelengths than the old sodium lamps, which scatter more in the eye and can increase glare and disrupt sleep patterns more severely. We saved energy but strained our eyes. Fact 68. The brightest beam. In the desert, we built a monument to light. The Luxor sky beam in Las Vegas is the strongest beam of light in the world. With 39 massive xenon lamps, it is visible from an aircraft 275 miles away, attracting so many moths that it has created its own ecosystem of bats and owls feasting in the beam. An artificial food chain. Fact 69. The subway sleep. The city never stops. New York City's subway system is one of the few in the world that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This continuous movement created the cultural concept of the city that never sleeps, changing the global expectation of nightlife and availability. The veins of the city never rest. Fact 70. The walking sleeper. Now let us return to the sleeper. Sometimes the body wakes up but the brain does not. Sleepwalking or somnambulism occurs during deep non-REM sleep. Sleepwalkers have been known to perform complex tasks like cooking meals, driving cars, and even sending emails, with absolutely no memory of the event the next day. The autopilot takes the wheel. Fact 71. The demon on the chest. Sometimes the opposite happens. The mind wakes up, but the body does not. Sleep paralysis occurs when you wake up during REM sleep, but the chemical paralysis of your muscles hasn't worn off yet. Your brain, panicked by the inability to move, often hallucinates a threatening shadow person or hag sitting on your chest. A waking nightmare. Fact 72. The loud bang. For some, the transition to sleep is violent. Exploding head syndrome is a real condition where a person hears a colossal, bomb-like explosion or a loud cymbal crash inside their head just as they are drifting off, despite there being no external sound. It is a misfire of the auditory neurons. Fact 73. The long awake. How long can you go without the night? The world record for the longest scientifically monitored period without sleep is held by 17-year-old Randy Gardner, who in 1964 stayed awake for 11 days and 25 minutes. By the end, he suffered from hallucinations, paranoia, and fragmented memory. The mind unravels without rest. Fact 74. Curse. There is a disease where the night never comes. Fatal familial insomnia is an extremely rare genetic prion disease where the sufferer loses the ability to sleep entirely. The condition worsens over months, leading to dementia and inevitably death, as the brain cannot survive without the repair cycle of sleep. The ultimate tragedy is a life without sleep. Fact 75. The micronap. If you fight sleep, it will take you by force. When extremely tired, your brain can engage in microsleeps, brief moments of unconsciousness lasting from a fraction of a second to 30 seconds, where your eyes might remain open, but your brain is essentially offline and processing no visual information. You are gone, but you look awake. Fact 76. Roar. The night is rarely silent for everyone. The loudest snore ever recorded measured 111.6 decibels, which is louder than a jackhammer or a low-flying jet. Severe snoring is often a sign of sleep apnea, where breathing stops repeatedly during the night. The sound of a struggle for air. Fact 77. The lucid control. Some people have learned to hack the system. Lucid dreaming is the state of being aware you are dreaming while in the dream. Studies suggest that video gamers are more likely to experience lucid dreams and have better control over them, possibly because they are trained to navigate artificial realities. Gamers rule the dream world. Fact 78. The creative twilight. Between waking and sleeping lies a magical zone. This transition state is called hypnagogia. Artist Salvador Dali used to nap with a heavy key in his hand, so that when he fell asleep, he would drop the key, wake up, and immediately paint the surreal images he saw in that brief moment of hallucination. He harvested the edge of sleep. Fact 79. The sleep eater. And finally, the hunger of the night. Sleep-related eating disorder causes people to prepare and eat meals while asleep. Sufferers have been known to eat raw meat, butter sticks, or even toxic items like cleaning supplies, with no memory of the feast in the morning. The primitive brain wants to feed. Fact 80. The ghost rainbow. On rare nights, if the moon is full and the rain is falling just right, the sky paints a ghost. A moonbow or lunar rainbow is a rainbow produced by moonlight rather than sunlight. Because moonlight is much fainter, the human eye often perceives it as white, but a long-exposure camera reveals the full spectrum of colors hiding in the dark. A rainbow for the dreamers. Fact 81. The midnight music. The night has its own soundtrack. The musical composition style known as the nocturne, meaning of the night, was popularized by Frédéric Chopin. These pieces were specifically written to evoke the feelings of the night, melancholy, mystery, and quiet romance, breaking the rigid musical structures of the day. Music that floats like smoke. Fact 82. The sentinels. If you are someone who struggles to sleep early, do not feel broken. You might be a guardian. The sentinel hypothesis suggests that being a night owl is an evolutionary advantage. In ancient tribes, having some members biologically wired to stay awake late meant someone was always watching for predators while the early birds slept. You are the watchman of the tribe. Fact 83. The darkest places. We are now fighting to save the dark. There are now officially designated international dark sky reserves, protected lands with strict lighting controls to ensure zero light pollution. The Aoraki Mackenzie Reserve in New Zealand is one of the few places on Earth where the night is exactly as dark as it was 10,000 years ago. A museum of darkness. Fact 84. The ghostly glow. Even when the moon is dark, it remembers the Earth. The faint glow on the dark side of a crescent moon is called earthshine or Da Vinci glow. It is sunlight reflecting off the Earth's oceans and clouds, traveling to the moon and bouncing back to our eyes. A reflection of a reflection. Fact 85. The word. Even our language had to evolve to embrace the dark. Until the early 20th century, the word tonight was written as two separate words, tonight, or with a hyphen, tonight. It took centuries for us to combine the concept of the approaching darkness into a single point in time. Fact 86. The abyss. There is a night that never ends. The midnight zone, bathypelagic zone, of the ocean begins at 1,000 meters deep. Here, no sunlight has ever penetrated, and the only light comes from the creatures themselves. A world of permanent, crushing night. Fact 87. The winter solstice. Every year, the night wins a victory. The winter solstice marks the longest night of the year. In ancient times, this was a moment of great fear that the sun might not return, leading to the tradition of lighting Yule logs to tempt the fire of the sun back to the sky. A plea for the dawn. Fact 88. The night mayor. Cities are beginning to realize the night needs leadership. In 2014, Amsterdam elected the world's first night mayor, Nachtburgmeester, a government official dedicated solely to managing the city's nightlife economy and mediating between clubs and residents. Diplomacy in the dark. Fact 89. The smell of rain. Why does the night rain smell so sweet? The distinct smell of rain at night is often stronger due to petrichor. Without the sun to dry the ground quickly, the oils released by plants and the chemical geosmin from soil bacteria linger longer in the damp, cool night air. The perfume of the earth. Fact 90. The dividing line. From space, the night is not a time. It is a place. The line separating day from night on a planetary body is called the terminator. If you stood on this line on the moon, you would see shadows stretching out almost infinitely due to the angle of the sun. You are standing on the edge of the shadow. Fact 91. The blue sunset. On other worlds, the night begins differently. On Mars, sunsets are not red, but blue. The fine red dust in the Martian atmosphere scatters red light, allowing the blue light to penetrate the atmosphere more efficiently when the sun is low. A cool ending to a red day. Fact 92. The paradox. Look at the black spaces between the stars. Why are they black? Olber's paradox asks, if the universe is infinite and full of stars, every line of sight should end on a star, making the night sky as bright as the sun. The fact that the sky is dark is proof that the universe is not infinitely old. The light from distant stars hasn't reached us yet. The darkness is proof of a beginning. Fact 93. The false dawn. Sometimes the night tricks us. The zodiacal light is a faint triangular glow seen before dawn, often called false dawn. It is actually sunlight reflecting off wandering dust particles in the solar system. A ghost of the morning. Fact 94. The absolute zero. We complain about the cold night air, but we do not know cold. On the planet Mercury, the lack of an atmosphere means the night side drops to minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 180 degrees Celsius, while the day side is 800 degrees Fahrenheit, 430 degrees Celsius. Without a blanket of air, the night is a freezer. Fact 95. Time jump. Occasionally we have to pause the night. Because Earth's rotation is slowing down, scientists occasionally add a leap second to our atomic clocks, usually at midnight on June 30th or December 31st, to keep our time in sync with the solar day. A stolen second of darkness. Fact 96. The dark side. There is a side of our companion we never face. The dark side of the moon is a misnomer. Both sides get equal sunlight. It is actually the far side, which we never see because the moon is tidally locked to Earth, spinning at the exact same speed it orbits us. It is hiding its face, not its light. Fact 97. The final sense. As you, the listener, drift closer to sleep now, you are following a pattern. Hearing is the last sense to fade when you fall asleep and the first to return when you wake up. Even in deep sleep, your brain processes sound, which is why a lullaby works. You are listening until the very end. Fact 98. The end of light. Just as the day ends, so too will the universe. Cosmologists theorize the heat death of the universe. Billions of years from now, when the last star burns out, the universe will enter an era of permanent thermodynamic equilibrium, an eternal night known as the Big Freeze. Fact 99. The rest. But that is a long way off. For now, the night is not an end. It is a pause. Sleep is the only time your body repairs its DNA. Without the night, life would break down. Darkness is not the enemy of the light. It is the cradle that holds it. Fact 100. The ancient night sky. In the beginning, night wasn't just the absence of day. For our earliest ancestors, nearly 4 million years ago, nightfall meant something profound and absolute. When the sun disappeared beyond the horizon, darkness descended so completely that humans could barely see their own hands in front of their faces. The night sky, unpolluted by any artificial light, revealed between 2,500 and 5,000 stars visible to the naked eye on a clear evening. This celestial tapestry stretched across the heavens in a river of light we call the Milky Way, so bright that it cast shadows on moonless nights. Today, more than 80% of the world's population lives under light-polluted skies, never witnessing the true glory of the night our ancestors knew intimately. Fact 101. The Babylonian Zodiac. Our ancestors learned to read this tapestry with remarkable precision. The ancient Babylonians, around 1800 BCE, were among the first civilization to systematically record the night sky's patterns. Working from their ziggurats and temples, these patient observers tracked the stars night after night, season after season, generation after generation. They divided the night sky into 12 constellations of the zodiac, each corresponding to a month of their calendar. These weren't random patterns but carefully chosen groupings that helped them predict the flooding of rivers, the best times for planting crops, and the changing of seasons. The zodiac we still recognize today, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and the rest, emerged from these ancient Babylonian star watchers who found order in the chaos of the heavens above. Fact 102. The 5 wandering stars. But the Babylonians noticed something remarkable that set certain celestial objects apart from all the others. While the fixed stars wheeled overhead in their predictable, unchanging dance, always maintaining the same positions relative to one another, 5 peculiar stars traced their own mysterious paths across the sky. These wanderers moved forward, sometimes backward, brightening and dimming according to patterns that took years to understand. The Babylonians tracked these movements with obsessive detail, recording them on clay tablets that survived millennia. They called these wanderers by names honoring their gods, not realizing they were observing Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, our cosmic neighbors traveling their own orbits around the same sun that warmed Earth's days. Fact 103. The origin of planet. The word planet itself carries the story of ancient confusion and wonder embedded in its very syllables. It comes from the ancient Greek planets, which simply means wanderer. To the Greeks, who inherited astronomical knowledge from the Babylonians, these objects were fundamentally different from the fixed stars that never changed their relative positions. The wanderers seemed to have their own will, their own purposes, moving through the constellations at their own mysterious pace. For thousands of years, humans watched these wandering lights without understanding what they truly were. They weren't distant suns or divine spirits moving across the heavens, but worlds, actual spherical bodies like our own Earth, caught in the sun's gravitational embrace, reflecting its light back to our wondering eyes. Fact 104. The Theia collision. But let's drift further back. to the violent birth of night itself. Why does night exist at all? The answer lies in a catastrophic event from Earth's turbulent youth, an impact so tremendous it fundamentally shaped everything that would follow. Around 4.5 billion years ago, when our planet was still molten and forming, barely cooled from the cosmic dust that created it, a Mars-sized protoplanet called Theia collided with the early Earth. The impact released energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs, vaporizing rock, ejecting massive amounts of debris into orbit, and knocking our world askew. This collision tilted Earth off its axis and created our moon from the superheated debris that coalesced in orbit above the wounded planet, forever changing the rhythm of our world. Fact 105. Earth's axial tilt. That ancient collision left Earth spinning on an axis tilted at precisely 23.5 degrees from vertical, like a top that's been nudged slightly askew as it spins. This tilt is why we have night and day as we experience them, rather than as a simple division between one permanently lit hemisphere and one forever dark. As Earth rotates on its tilted axis, each point on the surface sweeps through sunlight and shadow in a graceful, predictable rhythm. One complete rotation takes approximately 24 hours, creating the cycle of light and darkness that governs all life on our planet. This cosmic accident gave us more than just alternating periods of sun and stars. It gave us the seasons, the migration of birds, the blooming of flowers, and the very conditions necessary for complex life to flourish. Fact 106. The suprachiasmatic nucleus. And our bodies evolved to internalize this rhythm in ways we're only beginning to understand. Deep within your brain, tucked behind your eyes in a region called the hypothalamus, sits a cluster of about 20,000 neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This tiny region, no bigger than a grain of rice, acts as your master biological clock, the conductor of your body's symphony of time. Discovered in its full function during the 1970s through careful neurological research, this remarkable timekeeper coordinates your entire circadian rhythm, the roughly 24-hour cycle that makes you alert during the day and sleepy at night. It receives light information directly from your eyes, adjusting your body's production of hormones, regulating body temperature, and orchestrating the daily rhythm of nearly every cell in your body. Fact 107. The natural circadian rhythm. Scientists have discovered something fascinating about this internal clock through experiments conducted in caves and special isolation chambers. Even if you were placed in complete darkness with no light whatsoever, no clocks, no way to tell time, this internal biological timekeeper would continue ticking, keeping you on an approximately 24-hour schedule without any external cues. But here's the intriguing part. For most people, that internal day runs slightly longer than Earth's actual rotation. Studies show that the human free-running circadian period typically runs between 24.1 and 24.3 hours, just a bit longer than a true day. This means that without the sun's light resetting our clocks each morning, we would gradually drift later and later, our internal time slowly falling out of sync with the spinning Earth beneath our feet. Fact 108. Segmented sleep patterns. The ancient night shaped not just when we slept, but how we slept in ways that might surprise you. Before artificial light transformed our evenings, humans didn't sleep in one solid 8-hour block as we attempt today. Historical records, diaries, and medical texts from centuries past, combined with research conducted in the 1990s by historian Roger Kirch, revealed that for most of human history, people practiced what was called segmented sleep or biphasic sleep. They would retire shortly after sunset, sleep for approximately 4 hours, then wake naturally for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. This midnight waking wasn't insomnia or sleep disorder. It was normal, expected, even productive. People used this quiet interval for prayer, conversation with their partners, intimacy, attending to the fire, or simply lying in peaceful contemplation before drifting back into a second sleep that lasted until dawn. Fact 109. Melatonin and darkness. Deep within your brain lies a pine cone-shaped gland called the pineal gland, and it holds the chemical key to your relationship with night. When darkness falls and reaches your eyes, a remarkable cascade begins. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus signals the pineal gland to begin producing melatonin, often called the hormone of darkness. This powerful molecule doesn't cause sleep directly, but rather orchestrates the complex biological transition from wakefulness to rest. Melatonin levels begin rising about 2 hours before your natural bedtime, reaching peak concentration in your bloodstream around 2 to 4 a.m. before gradually declining as dawn approaches. This ancient chemical messenger has been regulating sleep-wake cycles in living creatures for over 500 million years, long before humans walked the earth, connecting you to an unbroken chain of night-dwelling ancestors stretching back through evolutionary time. Fact 110. The moon's formation and distance. The moon that hangs in your night sky tonight is slowly abandoning Earth, drifting away at a rate of about 3.8 centimeters per year, roughly the same speed your fingernails grow. When the moon first formed from that catastrophic collision with Theia 4.5 billion years ago, it loomed enormous in the sky, sitting just 22,500 kilometers from Earth, compared to the 384,400 kilometers that separate us today. Back then, a day lasted only 5 hours, and the moon appeared 15 times larger in the sky than it does now. The tides it created were monumental, hundreds of meters high, reshaping coastlines with every cycle. As the moon pulled on Earth's oceans, Earth's rotation gradually slowed, and the moon, through the conservation of angular momentum, spiraled outward into a higher orbit, giving us the gentler night companion we know today. Fact 111. Ancient moon worship. Humans have gazed upon the moon with reverence since our earliest days, and nearly every ancient culture developed myths and deities to explain its mysterious presence. The ancient Sumerians worshipped Nana, later called Sin by the Babylonians, a masculine lunar deity who sailed the night sky in a boat. The Egyptians knew the moon as Khonsu, the traveler, who they believed regulated time and protected night travelers. Ancient Greeks honored Selene, who drove her moon chariot across the heavens each night, while Romans called upon Luna. The Chinese told stories of Chang'e, who drank an elixir of immortality and floated to the moon, where she lives eternally in a palace accompanied only by a jade rabbit. These weren't primitive superstitions but sophisticated attempts to understand the most prominent feature of the night sky, the celestial body that governed tides, marked months, and provided light when the sun had gone. Fact 112. Lunar cycles and human culture. The moon's changing faces, its phases, gave humanity its first calendar, a natural clock visible to anyone who simply looked up. The word month itself derives from moon, and nearly every ancient culture based their early calendars on the lunar cycle of approximately 29.5 days from new moon to new moon. The Islamic calendar still follows pure lunar months, causing its festivals to drift through the seasons. The Hebrew calendar combines lunar months with solar year adjustments, creating a complex lunisolar system. Even our modern Gregorian calendar, purely solar, retains the echo of lunar origins in its 12 months, though they no longer align with the moon's phases. For most of human history, when someone spoke of a moon passing, they meant a month. The moon was time itself made visible, waxing and waning in an eternal rhythm that needed no human intervention to maintain. Fact 113. Nocturnal animals evolution. While our ancestors huddled in caves and trees, terrified of the dark, other creatures were evolving to own the night as their exclusive domain. During the Mesozoic era, when dinosaurs ruled the daylight hours, early mammals survived by becoming nocturnal, venturing out only when their reptilian predators slept. This survival strategy lasted for over 100 million years and fundamentally shaped mammalian evolution. Our mammalian ancestors developed enhanced hearing to navigate darkness, sensitive whiskers to feel their way through the night, and an acute sense of smell to replace vision. Most mammals today still retain this nocturnal heritage. Cats with their reflective tapetum lucidum that makes eyes glow in darkness, bats with their sophisticated echolocation, owls with asymmetrical ears for pinpoint sound location. The night wasn't empty. It was teeming with life that we diurnal humans rarely encountered. Fact 114. Human night vision adaptation. Your eyes contain two types of photoreceptor cells, and their different capabilities reveal how evolution prepared us for both day and night. Cone cells, concentrated in the center of your retina, provide color vision and sharp detail but require bright light to function. Rod cells, distributed around the periphery, are extraordinarily sensitive to light. A single rod can detect even one photon, but they provide no color information, which is why, at night, all cats are gray, as the old proverb says. You possess approximately 120 million rod cells compared to only 6 million cones. When you move from bright light into darkness, your pupils dilate within seconds, but full dark adaptation takes 20 to 30 minutes as your rod cells produce rhodopsin, the photosensitive pigment that enables night vision. This is why ancient sailors and astronomers protected their night vision so carefully, knowing one glimpse of bright light would reset the process. Fact 115. The Dark Ages Night Terror. Medieval Europeans experienced night as something we can barely comprehend today, a time of genuine terror and supernatural dread. In an era before streetlights, before even oil lamps were common among peasants, night brought not just darkness but helplessness. People believed night was when the boundary between the living world and the spirit realm grew thin, when demons, witches, and the restless dead walked abroad. Laws prohibited travel after dark. City gates closed at sunset. Anyone found wandering at night fell under immediate suspicion. This wasn't mere superstition but practical fear. Nighttime brought real dangers of robbery, violence, getting lost, and accidental death. The expression nightfall itself reveals this anxiety. Night didn't simply arrive, it fell upon you like a physical weight. Church bells rang at sunset in a ritual called curfew, from the French couvre-feu meaning cover fire, signaling the time to extinguish flames and retreat indoors until dawn's safety returned. Fact 116. The invention of artificial light. Fire was humanity's first theft from the exclusive domain of day, our earliest rebellion against night's absolute rule. Archaeological evidence suggests humans began controlling fire somewhere between 400,000 and 1 million years ago, though the exact timeline remains debated. This wasn't just warmth or cooking. Fire extended the day, creating a bubble of light and safety in the hostile darkness. Early humans could now gather around flames to socialize, tell stories, and work on tools after sunset. Oil lamps appeared around 70,000 years ago, simple stones with depressions filled with animal fat and a wick. Candles emerged around 3000 BCE in both ancient Egypt and China. But all these sources were expensive, dim, and dangerous. Most of humanity still went to bed shortly after sunset simply because staying awake in darkness was impractical, uncomfortable, and costly. The night remained largely unconquered, a vast territory of darkness that began just beyond the flickering circle of firelight. Fact 117. Stars as navigation tools. Ancient sailors discovered that the night sky provided a more reliable map than anything drawn on parchment. The stars' fixed positions, wheeling predictably around celestial poles, allowed navigation across trackless oceans when the sun provided no directional information. Polynesian wayfinders memorized the rising and setting points of over 200 stars, using them to navigate between tiny islands across millions of square kilometers of Pacific Ocean, journeys that seem impossible even today. The North Star, Polaris, has guided Northern Hemisphere travelers for millennia because it sits almost directly above Earth's rotational axis, appearing stationary while all other stars circle around it. Arab navigators developed sophisticated instruments like the Kamal to measure star heights above the horizon. The Southern Cross guided sailors below the equator. For thousands of years, the night sky was humanity's most accurate clock and compass combined, available to anyone who learned to read its luminous language written across the darkness. Fact 118. The aurora's ancient mystery. Long before anyone understood Earth's magnetic field or solar winds, humans witnessed one of night's most spectacular phenomena and wove it into their deepest myths. The aurora borealis and aurora australis, the northern and southern lights, paint the polar night skies with curtains of green, red, purple, and blue light that dance and shimmer as if alive. Vikings believed these were the Valkyries riding across the sky, or light reflecting from the shields and armor of the Odin's chosen warriors in Valhalla. Indigenous peoples of North America saw ancestors dancing, or spirits of animals, or omens of war and change. The Sami people of northern Scandinavia believed you should never whistle at the aurora, never wave at it, never mock it, for fear of calling its attention. It might reach down and seize you. What they witnessed were electrons from solar storms colliding with Earth's atmosphere 100 kilometers overhead, but the ancient interpretation held its own truth. This was heaven and earth meeting in the night sky, a reminder that forces beyond human understanding ruled the darkness. Fact 119. Einstein and the speed of light at night. Here is something that might help ease you towards sleep. The light you see from stars at night left those distant suns years, centuries, even millennia ago, meaning the night sky is a time machine showing you the ancient past. The nearest star system, Alpha Centauri, is about 4.4 light-years away, so the light reaching your eyes tonight began its journey before the last presidential election. The beautiful Betelgeuse, that reddish star in Orion's shoulder, is 650 light-years distant. Its light started traveling toward Earth during the Middle Ages. And the faint smudge of the Andromeda Galaxy, visible on dark nights, emits light that travels for 2.5 million years before reaching your retina, meaning you're seeing Andromeda as it was when our earliest human ancestors were just beginning to walk upright in Africa. The night sky isn't showing you what the universe looks like now, but what it looked like across vast spans of time. Each point of light a message from the past, still traveling through the darkness to reach your eyes tonight. Fact 120. The discovery of nocturnal creatures. For centuries, humans believed that certain animals simply disappeared at night, vanishing into some mysterious realm only to reappear at dawn. Swallows, for instance, were thought to burrow into mud at the bottom of ponds during winter nights, hibernating underwater until spring. Aristotle himself promoted this theory, and it persisted until the 18th century when careful observation finally revealed bird migration. The truth of nocturnal life was often stranger than myth. Scientists eventually discovered that an entirely separate ecosystem awakens when humans sleep. Moths pollinating night-blooming flowers, bats consuming thousands of insects per hour, foxes hunting in darkness, mushrooms releasing their spores. The night shift of nature operates on a scale and complexity that ancient peoples could scarcely imagine, a parallel world existing in the hours we surrender to sleep. Fact 121. Owl's silent flight. The owl has reigned as the supreme nocturnal predator for over 60 million years, and its evolutionary adaptations reveal nature's ingenuity in conquering darkness. An owl's flight is absolutely silent, engineered by 3 remarkable feather adaptations: a leading-edge comb that breaks up turbulence, soft downy surfaces that muffle sound, and trailing feather edges that reduce noise. This allows owls to approach prey without the faintest whisper of warning. Their eyes, immobile in their sockets, are not spherical like ours but tubular, maximizing light-gathering capability. To compensate for fixed eyes, owls can rotate their heads 270 degrees, their necks containing twice as many vertebrae as humans. They can hunt in light levels so low that humans would perceive only complete blackness, their hearing so acute they can locate a mouse rustling beneath snow from 40 meters away, striking with precision at prey they cannot even see. Fact 122. Bioluminescence in the deep. In the deepest parts of the ocean, where sunlight has never reached in all of Earth's history, night is permanent and absolute. Yet here, in this eternal darkness, life has created its own light. Approximately 76% of all ocean animals in the deep sea produce bioluminescence, living light generated through chemical reactions within their bodies. The anglerfish dangles a glowing lure to attract prey in the blackness. Jellyfish pulse with blue light to startle predators. Certain squid shoot clouds of bioluminescent ink as decoys. The Hawaiian bobtail squid hosts glowing bacteria in a special organ, adjusting their light to match moonlight filtering from above, erasing its shadow to hide from predators below. This isn't fire or electricity but cold light, produced so efficiently that almost no energy is wasted as heat. In the eternal night of the deep ocean, life invented illumination millions of years before humans discovered fire. Fact 123. Circadian rhythms in plants. The night-day cycle governs not just animals but plants, which despite lacking eyes or brains, track time with remarkable precision. In 1729, French astronomer Jean-Jacques d'Ortus de Mairan placed a mimosa plant in complete darkness and observed that its leaves continued opening at dawn and closing at dusk even without any light cues. This was the first scientific documentation of circadian rhythms. We now know that plants have clock genes similar to animals, allowing them to anticipate dawn and prepare for photosynthesis before the sun actually rises. Flowers open and close on precise schedules. Some bloom only at night to attract moth pollinators. Trees move water differently during day and night. Even harvested plants continue following day-night cycles for days. Carl Linnaeus once designed a flower clock garden where he could tell time by which flowers were open, each species programmed by millions of years of evolution to operate on its own schedule, responding to the ancient rhythm of Earth's rotation. Fact 124. The night watch and medieval sleep. In medieval cities, a peculiar profession emerged to patrol the dangerous hours of darkness: the night watch. These were ordinary citizens, required by law to take turns walking the streets from sunset to sunrise, calling out the hours and watching for fires, criminals and threats. In many European cities, the watch would cry out, "12 o'clock and all is well," or similar phrases, their voices echoing through empty streets as proof they remained awake and vigilant. This wasn't just security but necessity. Fire could destroy entire wooden cities in hours, and darkness provided cover for countless crimes. The Night Watch represents humanity's first organized attempt to extend authority and civilization into the lawless hours after dark. Their lanterns were tiny islands of order in an ocean of darkness, and their calls were reassurance that someone stood between sleeping citizens and the dangers lurking beyond the firelight. Fact 125. REM sleep discovery. In 1953, graduate student Eugene Aserinsky made a discovery that revolutionized our understanding of what happens to us each night. While studying sleeping subjects at the University of Chicago, he noticed that at certain intervals, sleepers' eyes moved rapidly beneath closed lids. He initially thought his electroencephalogram machine was broken, but the pattern repeated every 90 minutes throughout the night. This was REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, and during these periods, the brain became almost as active as during waking hours, though the body remained paralyzed. We now know that most vivid dreaming occurs during REM sleep, which occupies about 2 hours of an 8-hour sleep period, cycling through 4 or 5 times per night. Infants spend nearly half their sleep in REM, possibly consolidating the enormous amount of learning happening in their developing brains. REM sleep is so essential that if deprived of it, your brain will desperately attempt to catch up, entering REM states more frequently and intensely. Fact 126. The naming of constellations. Ancient peoples looked at random scatterings of stars and saw bears, hunters, scorpions, and gods, an act of imagination that created humanity's first shared stories. Different cultures saw different patterns in the same stars. What Europeans called Ursa Major, the Great Bear, was seen by Hindu astronomers as the Seven Sages, by Chinese observers as the Northern Dipper, and by Native Americans as a bear being chased by hunters. The constellation we call Orion was seen by ancient Egyptians as Osiris, god of the afterlife, sailing across the night sky. These weren't idle storytelling but mnemonic devices and calendars. When certain constellations appeared at dusk, farmers knew to plant crops. When others rose, sailors knew navigation season had begun. The constellation names we use today, 48 of them, come primarily from Ptolemy's Almagest, written in the 2nd century CE, preserving Greek and Babylonian tradition. But every culture that watched the night sky wrote their own mythology and stars, each generation teaching the next to see heroes and monsters in distant suns. Fact 127. The extinction of darkness. In 1879, Thomas Edison demonstrated his incandescent light bulb, and within a few decades, humanity began erasing the night from our cities. The first electric street lighting appeared in Paris in 1878, in London in 1879, in New York in 1880. The transformation was astonishing. Streets that had been abandoned to darkness and danger suddenly blazed with light. People could work, shop, and socialize long into the night. The concept of nightlife, as we understand it, was born. But something was lost. By 2016, studies showed that 1/3 of humanity could no longer see the Milky Way from their homes. In the United States and Europe, 99% of the population lives under light-polluted skies. We traded the stars for safety and convenience, electric light for the ancient darkness that shaped our evolution. Children in major cities grow up never experiencing true night, never seeing more than a handful of the brightest stars, disconnected from the cosmic context that every human before the 20th century took for granted. Fact 128. Dreams across cultures. Every human culture has grappled with the strange theater that plays behind our eyes each night. Ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from the gods and built temples where people could sleep in hopes of receiving divine visions. The Egyptians even had professional dream interpreters, and their dream interpretation guides carved on papyrus still survive. Indigenous Australian cultures speak of the dream time, where ancestral spirits created the world, blurring the boundary between dream, myth, and reality. The ancient Greeks built temples to Asclepius, god of healing, where sick people would sleep hoping for dreams that revealed cures. Sigmund Freud argued dreams were the royal road to the unconscious, disguised wish fulfillments rising from repressed desires. Modern neuroscience suggests dreams help consolidate memories, process emotions, and rehearse threatening scenarios. Despite thousands of years of contemplation, dreams remain fundamentally mysterious. Private movies screened only in the darkness of our sleeping minds, forgotten minutes after waking. Fact 129. Chronotypes and larks versus owls. Not everyone's internal clock ticks at the same rhythm, and this isn't laziness or discipline but genetics and biology. Scientists have identified that humans fall into different chronotypes, natural preferences for sleep and wake times. Larks, or morning people, wake easily at dawn, feel most productive in early hours, and tire by evening. Owls, or night people, struggle with early mornings, hit peak mental performance in late afternoon or evening, and naturally stay awake past midnight. This isn't a choice but a variation in clock genes, particularly the PER3 gene. Studies show teenagers naturally shift toward owl chronotypes during puberty due to hormonal changes, which is why forcing adolescents to start school at 7:30 a.m. works against their biology. Throughout human evolution, having different chronotypes benefited groups. Some members naturally awake at dawn to watch for threats, others alert during night's dangerous hours, creating natural shifts of sentinels protecting the sleeping community. Your chronotype represents an ancient survival strategy, inherited from ancestors who kept watch during different hours of the night. Fact 130. The Great Comet of 1680. In the 17th century, a comet appeared in the night sky so brilliant that it could be seen in broad daylight and cast shadows at midnight. The Great Comet of 1680 terrified populations across Europe, Asia, and the Americas, visible to the naked eye for months as it streaked across the heavens. Comets were seen as omens of disaster, plagues, wars, the deaths of kings, and this spectacular visitor seemed to confirm humanity's worst fears. What made this comet scientifically important was that Isaac Newton used observations of its path to confirm his theory of universal gravitation, proving that even these wandering celestial bodies obeyed mathematical laws. The comet's tail stretched across 70 degrees of sky, and its nucleus passed within 0.4 astronomical units of Earth. Astronomer Edmund Halley calculated it might return in 575 years, meaning this same visitor that awed our ancestors won't grace our night skies again until around the year 2255. Fact 131. Nocturnal fear and nyctophobia. The fear of darkness, nyctophobia, is one of the most common human fears, particularly in children, and evolutionary psychologists argue this fear kept our ancestors alive. For millions of years, darkness brought genuine mortal danger. Humans have poor night vision compared to nocturnal predators. We lack the speed to flee or the strength to fight effectively in darkness. Our ancestors who feared the dark stayed near fires, remained in groups, and avoided risky nighttime exposure. They survived and passed on their genes. Those who wandered fearlessly into the night often became prey. Children between ages 3 and 12 commonly experience intense fear of darkness, their brains possibly hardwired to develop this protective anxiety. In modern safe environments, this ancient adaptation seems irrational, but it's a genetic echo of the very real nights when large predators, cave bears, saber-toothed cats, hyenas, hunted humans. Your fear of darkness, if you feel it, connects you to millions of years of ancestors who survived by respecting the night's dangers. Fact 132. The moon illusion. You've likely noticed that the moon appears enormous when rising on the horizon but smaller when high overhead. This moon illusion has puzzled observers for thousands of years, and remarkably, we still don't fully understand it. The moon doesn't change size or distance during its nightly arc across the sky, yet our perception transforms it dramatically. Ancient Greek and Arab scholars proposed that Earth's atmosphere acts as a magnifying lens near the horizon, but measurements prove the moon actually appears slightly smaller on the horizon due to its extra distance through atmospheric refraction. The illusion is purely psychological. Current theories suggest our brains compare the horizon moon to familiar objects like trees and buildings, making it seem larger, while the overhead moon floats in empty sky with no reference points. You can prove this yourself. Hold a small object like a pencil eraser at arm's length and compare it to the moon at different heights. It remains the same size. Yet the illusion persists, undiminished by knowledge, a reminder that our perception of the night sky is filtered through ancient cognitive mechanisms we don't fully control. Fact 133. Vampire bat adaptation. Among the thousands of bat species, only 3 feed exclusively on blood, and their nocturnal adaptations are extraordinary. Vampire bats possess heat-sensing organs on their noses that detect infrared radiation from blood vessels near the skin's surface, allowing them to find the perfect spot to feed in complete darkness. Their saliva contains a powerful anticoagulant called draculin, which keeps blood flowing without clotting during their meal. They can land silently next to sleeping animals and make an incision so precise and painless that victims rarely wake. Perhaps most remarkably, vampire bats have developed complex social behaviors around their nocturnal feeding. If a bat fails to find food for 2 nights, it will starve, but colony members regurgitate blood to share with hungry neighbors, even non-relatives. They remember who helped them and reciprocate later. A sophisticated social contract evolving in the darkness of caves, where cooperation means survival. These bats aren't the monsters of legend, but highly adapted creatures solving the difficult problem of finding food in the dark while maintaining community bonds. Fact 134. The transit of Venus and night observations. Some of astronomy's most important discoveries required observers to work through entire nights, meticulously recording celestial events. In 1761 and 1769, astronomers around the world coordinated observations of Venus passing across the face of the Sun, the transit of Venus, to calculate Earth's distance from the Sun for the first time. Captain James Cook sailed to Tahiti specifically to observe the 1769 transit, setting up telescopes and timing instruments on a Pacific island, while other observers stationed themselves from Siberia to South Africa. The calculation required measuring the exact timing of Venus's path from different points on Earth, work that demanded patient observation through long tropical nights preparing equipment. This wasn't idle curiosity but fundamental science. Knowing Earth's distance from the Sun unlocked calculations of the solar system's true scale. Transits of Venus occur in pairs 8 years apart, then don't happen again for over a century. The last pair occurred in 2004 and 2012. The next won't arrive until 2117 and 2125, more than a century away. Fact 135. Sleep paralysis across cultures. Imagine waking in the night, fully conscious, but unable to move or speak while a malevolent presence presses down on your chest. This terrifying experience, sleep paralysis, occurs when your mind wakes while your body remains in the muscle paralysis of REM sleep. About 8% of people experience this at least once, and every culture developed explanations. Medieval Europeans called it being hag-ridden, where a witch sat on the sleeper's chest. In Newfoundland, the old hag was blamed. Japanese culture speaks of konashibari, bound by an invisible metal restraint. In Egyptian culture, it was attributed to jinn possession. The Hmong people feared the dabbed sog, a crushing nocturnal spirit, and tragically, sudden unexpected nocturnal death syndrome among Southeast Asian immigrants in the 1980s was initially linked to this belief before medical causes were identified. Modern sleep science understands the mechanism: disrupted REM cycles, stress, irregular sleep schedules, but the experience remains primal and terrifying, spawning remarkably similar mythology worldwide, each culture creating narratives to explain waking helpless in the vulnerable darkness. Fact 136. The invention of time zones. Before the 19th century, every town kept its own time based on the sun's position at noon, meaning traveling west or east meant constantly resetting watches. Night and day began at different moments in cities just miles apart. This worked for centuries until railroads created chaos. Train schedules became nightmares of local times, missed connections, and even collisions. In 1883, American and Canadian railroads unilaterally divided the continent into 4 time zones, and the concept spread globally. By 1884, an international conference in Washington, D.C. established the system we use today. 24 time zones, each roughly 15 degrees of longitude wide, with Greenwich, England as the prime meridian. This fundamentally changed humanity's relationship with night and day. For the first time in history, midnight in New York and midnight in Los Angeles were different moments in absolute time, though the same moment in local experience. We had formalized what was once intuitive: that night falls at different times across the curved face of our spinning Earth, that somewhere it's always midnight, always noon, always dawn, the planet wrapped in a rotating patchwork of light and darkness. Fact 137. Moth navigation and light pollution. Moths navigate by celestial light, maintaining a constant angle to the moon to fly in straight lines across the night landscape. This worked perfectly for millions of years until humanity filled the night with artificial lights. Now moths spiral helplessly around streetlights and porch bulbs, mistaking them for the moon, flying in tighter and tighter circles until exhausted or eaten by predators. This isn't just inconvenient for moths, it's catastrophic for ecosystems. Moths are crucial pollinators of night-blooming plants and essential prey for bats, birds, and other animals. Studies show that artificial light can reduce moth populations by 47% in affected areas. Some moth species are becoming locally extinct near cities. Plants that depend on moth pollination produce fewer seeds. The cascade continues through the food web. What seems like innocent outdoor lighting, security lights, decorative landscape lights, bright storefronts, creates an ecological trap, exploiting an ancient navigation system that evolved in a world where the brightest light in the night sky was always celestial, always safe to use as a compass through the darkness. Fact 138. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, divers exploring a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera discovered a corroded bronze mechanism that would revolutionize our understanding of ancient astronomy. The Antikythera mechanism, built around 100 BCE, was an analog computer of stunning sophistication, containing over 30 precisely cut bronze gears. When the crank was turned, it displayed the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, predicted eclipses, and even tracked the ancient Olympic Games' 4-year cycle. This wasn't primitive observation but mathematical prediction of celestial movements, including the moon's irregular orbit, requiring knowledge of epicyclic motion. The device could predict solar and lunar eclipses years in advance, distinguishing between lunar and solar eclipses based on timing and visibility. Nothing remotely approaching this mechanical complexity appeared again until medieval astronomical clocks over 1,000 years later. It demonstrates that ancient astronomers understood the night sky with far greater mathematical sophistication than previously believed, reducing celestial movements to mechanical gears turning in precise ratios. The heavens themselves transformed into clockwork. Fact 139. The harvest moon. The full moon nearest the autumn equinox, called the harvest moon, rises in the east around sunset for several consecutive evenings, providing unusual amounts of moonlight during early night hours. This phenomenon occurs because during autumn in the northern hemisphere, the moon's path across the sky makes a shallow angle with the horizon. Normally, the moon rises about 50 minutes later each night, but during harvest moon, it rises only 20 to 30 minutes later, giving the appearance of a full moon for several nights running. For farmers before electric lights, this extra moonlight was precious. They could continue harvesting crops after sunset, gathering in grain before autumn rains or early frost destroyed months of work. The harvest moon appears larger and more orange when rising, an effect of atmospheric scattering, and cultures worldwide celebrated this reliable annual gift of light during the year's crucial agricultural moment. Native American tribes gave each full moon a name: harvest moon, hunter's moon, cold moon, creating a lunar calendar marking the year's rhythm, each moon rising faithfully in the night sky carrying its season's promise. Fact 140. Sleepwalking through history. Sleepwalking, or somnambulism, has puzzled humanity throughout recorded history, creating both medical mysteries and legal dilemmas. Ancient physicians believed sleepwalkers were possessed by spirits or experiencing disturbances in bodily humors. In the 18th century, sleepwalking was romantically associated with sensitivity and artistic temperament. Lady Macbeth's famous sleepwalking scene reflects genuine cultural beliefs about guilt and conscience manifesting in nocturnal wandering. Modern sleep science reveals that sleepwalking occurs during deep non-REM sleep, usually in the first third of the night, when the brain is partially awake, enough to perform complex motor activities like walking, opening doors, even driving cars, but without conscious awareness or memory formation. About 4% of adults and 17% of children sleepwalk occasionally. Legal cases have addressed whether violent acts committed while sleepwalking constitute crimes. Some defendants have been acquitted after killing during sleep episodes, though such cases remain controversial. Sleepwalking reveals the uncanny reality that our bodies can navigate the night world, while our conscious minds remain lost in sleep's darkness. Fact 141. The Leonid meteor storm. On the night of November 12, 1833, the sky appeared to catch fire across North America. Meteors fell like snowflakes, an estimated 100,000 per hour, streaking across the heavens in such numbers that observers feared the stars themselves were falling and the world was ending. This Leonid meteor storm became one of the most spectacular celestial events in recorded history. People fell to their knees in prayer, believing Judgment Day had arrived. The meteors seemed to radiate from the constellation Leo, giving the shower its name. Scientist Denison Olmsted studied reports from across the continent and concluded this was a natural astronomical phenomenon, not supernatural intervention, a crucial moment when science began replacing mystical interpretations of night sky events. We now know the Leonids occur when Earth passes through debris left by Comet Tempel-Tuttle, and approximately every 33 years, the shower intensifies into a storm. The last significant storm occurred in 1966 and 2001 to 2002. The next predicted peak will be around 2032, though nothing matching 1833's intensity has occurred since that terrifying beautiful night when the sky seemed to dissolve into falling stars. Fact 142. Crickets as thermometers. On summer nights, the rhythmic chirping of crickets provides more than ambient sound. It's a surprisingly accurate thermometer. Only male crickets chirp, rubbing specialized wing structures together to attract females, and the rate of chirping depends directly on temperature. In 1897, physicist Amos Dolbear published his observation that you can calculate temperature in Fahrenheit by counting cricket chirps. Count the number of chirps in 14 seconds and add 40. This formula works because crickets are cold-blooded. Their metabolic rate increases with temperature, causing faster chirping. The most commonly heard species, the snowy tree cricket, is so reliably temperature-dependent it's been called the thermometer cricket. Different species have different formulas, but all show the same principle. The chorus of a summer night fluctuates with thermal energy, insects collectively broadcasting the air temperature in a code that predates human thermometry by millions of years. Ancient peoples certainly noticed that crickets chirped faster on warmer nights, but only modern science revealed this was precise biological temperature measurement, the night itself given voice through countless tiny musicians responding to heat energy in their bodies. Fact 143. The speed of Earth's rotation. As you lie still preparing for sleep, you're actually moving at tremendous speed. If you're at the equator, Earth's rotation carries you eastward at about 1,670 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound. Even in mid-latitudes, you're moving at over 1,200 kilometers per hour. You don't feel this motion because Earth's rotation is constant and smooth, and everything around you, the atmosphere, buildings, trees, moves at the same speed. What you experience as stillness is actually participation in Earth's rotation, which brings day and night in an endless cycle. The planet completes one full rotation in 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. A sidereal day, measured against the stars. Our 24-hour solar day is slightly longer because while Earth rotates, it also orbits the Sun, requiring each point on the surface to rotate slightly further to face the Sun again. This rotation is gradually slowing due to the Moon's tidal pull, adding about 1.7 milliseconds per century to the length of a day. Billions of years ago, nights were shorter. Billions of years from now, they'll be longer, Earth's rotation winding down like a cosmic clock. Fact 144. Barn owls and asymmetrical hearing. The barn owl possesses perhaps the most sophisticated auditory system of any animal, allowing it to hunt in absolute darkness. Its face is actually a pair of parabolic dishes covered in specialized feathers that funnel sound to ear openings hidden beneath. But here's the remarkable adaptation. The ear openings are asymmetrical. The left ear is higher and angled downward, the right ear is lower and angled upward. This asymmetry means sounds from below reach the right ear first and louder, while sounds from above favor the left ear. By comparing the tiny differences in timing and volume between ears, a barn owl can pinpoint a mouse's location in three-dimensional space using hearing alone. The difference in arrival time between ears can be as small as 30 millionths of a second, Yet the owl's brain processes this instantly. In laboratory darkness so complete that no light whatsoever penetrates, barn owls strike prey with perfect accuracy, guided only by the faint rustling of fur on grass. They've evolved to turn the night itself into a readable map of sound, each acoustic whisper revealing position, distance, and movement in the black void where vision fails. Fact 145. The origin of midnight. The concept of midnight as a precise moment, 12 a.m., is a relatively modern invention. For most of history, people experienced night as a continuous period of darkness, divided vaguely into early night, deep night, and late night. Medieval Europeans marked canonical hours for prayers rather than clock hours, and terms like cock-crow, around 3 a.m., or first light served to indicate time. Mechanical clocks appeared in the 14th century, but remained rare and imprecise for centuries. The division of night into exact hours and minutes only became widespread with industrialization, when factory shifts and railroad schedules demanded precision. The term midnight comes from mid, meaning middle, and night, referring to the approximate middle of the dark hours, but which exact second counted as midnight varied by location and convention until time zones standardized it. Even today, midnight creates technical confusion. Is it the end of one day or the beginning of the next? Is it properly 12 a.m. or should it be labeled differently? This confusion reveals that midnight is a human construct imposed on the continuous flow of Earth's rotation, an arbitrary but necessary point we've chosen to mark the transition from one day to the next. Fact 146. Bats and echolocation precision. Bats navigate and hunt in complete darkness using echolocation, emitting high-frequency sounds and interpreting the returning echoes, with a precision that rivals or exceeds the best human-made sonar systems. A bat can detect an insect the size of a mosquito from several meters away, determine its exact location in three-dimensional space, calculate its speed and direction, and intercept it mid-flight, all in fractions of a second using only sound. The calls are ultrasonic, typically 20,000 to 100,000 Hz, far above human hearing range. Each species has a characteristic call pattern, and individuals can adjust frequency and intensity based on their environment, using higher frequencies in cluttered forests for detail, lower frequencies in open areas for range. Some bats emit over 200 calls per second when closing in on prey, updating their acoustic picture almost continuously. They can distinguish different insect species by the acoustic signature of wing beats. Most remarkably, in areas where many bats hunt together, each individual can filter out other bats' calls and focus only on its own returning echoes, solving a signal processing problem that challenges the most advanced computers. The night sky is alive with sounds we cannot hear, a cacophony of ultrasonic navigation filling the darkness. Fact 147. The Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd's album title notwithstanding, the moon doesn't actually have a dark side, in the sense of a hemisphere perpetually shrouded in darkness. What it has is a far side that always faces away from Earth due to tidal locking. The moon's rotation period matches its orbital period, so the same face always points toward us. This far side remained completely unknown to humanity until 1959, when the Soviet Luna 3 spacecraft sent back the first grainy photographs. What those images revealed surprised astronomers. The far side looks dramatically different from the near side, with far fewer of the dark Maria, ancient lava plains, and many more impact craters. The reason remains debated, but likely involves the moon's slightly offset center of mass and its position during its formation. Both sides of the moon experience roughly 2 weeks of sunlight followed by 2 weeks of darkness as the moon orbits Earth. The phrase "dark side of the moon" persists in popular culture, but it's more accurately the unknown or hidden side, the face our ancestors never saw in all their millennia of moon gazing, the half that remained mystery until spacecraft finally illuminated it with cameras instead of sunlight. Fact 148. Night blooming Sirius. Some plants have evolved to bloom exclusively at night, and perhaps none is more spectacular than the night-blooming Sirius, often called the Queen of the Night. This cactus produces huge, fragrant white flowers, some up to 30 centimeters in diameter, that open after sunset and wilt before dawn, lasting only a single night. The bloom releases a powerful sweet fragrance that intensifies as darkness deepens, attracting moth pollinators. In the wild, an entire population of these cacti often blooms simultaneously on the same night, possibly triggered by temperature, lunar cycle, or chemical signals between plants. Scientists still debate the mechanism. For anyone lucky enough to witness it, the blooming is almost eerie. Over the course of about 2 hours, tight buds unfurl into pristine white flowers that seem to glow in moonlight, perfuming the night air, only to collapse into withered brown masses by morning. This spectacular single-night bloom represents an evolutionary strategy. Concentrating reproductive effort into one overwhelming sensory display maximizes the chance that nocturnal pollinators will visit, cross-pollinate, and ensure seed production. The plant invests enormous energy in this brief nocturnal performance, then waits another year for its next night of glory. Fact 149. The aurora's sound. For centuries, people who witnessed the aurora borealis in far northern regions reported hearing sounds accompanying the lights, crackles, hisses, and pops that seemed to correspond with the aurora's movements. Scientists dismissed these reports as imagination or psychological effects, since the aurora occurs at altitudes of 100 to 400 kilometers, far too high for sound to reach the ground in real time. Sound would take minutes to travel that distance. However, recent research has validated the phenomenon. The sounds are real, but they're not coming from the aurora itself. Instead, the aurora's electrical activity creates charges in the atmosphere near ground level. When temperature inversions trap cold air near the surface, objects like trees, roof edges, and metal fences can accumulate electrical charges that discharge with crackling sounds when the aurora is particularly active. So observers were right all along. The aurora does make sound, just not through the mechanism anyone expected. The mysterious nocturnal music of the northern lights represents a complex atmospheric electrical phenomenon we're only beginning to understand, another reminder that the night sky holds secrets that indigenous peoples and experienced observers recognized long before science developed instruments sensitive enough to confirm them. Fact 150. The invention of the telescope. In 1609, Galileo Galilei turned a newly invented telescope toward the night sky, and humanity's understanding of the cosmos transformed forever. What had been points of light became worlds. He discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter, proof that not everything revolved around Earth. He saw that Venus showed phases like our moon, evidence supporting the Copernican model of a sun-centered solar system. The moon's surface, believed to be perfectly smooth and heavenly, revealed mountains, valleys, and craters. The Milky Way dissolved into countless individual stars. Saturn appeared oddly shaped, though his telescope wasn't powerful enough to resolve the rings. These observations, published in Sidereus Nuncius, Starry Messenger, in 1610, ignited both scientific revolution and religious controversy. The Catholic Church eventually forced Galileo into house arrest for suggesting Earth wasn't the center of creation. But the night sky, once considered unchangeable and unknowable, had become a laboratory. Every improvement in telescope technology since has revealed new layers of complexity, each generation of astronomers discovering that the night holds more wonders than their predecessors imagined possible. Fact 151. Fireflies' synchronized flashing. In certain species of fireflies, something magical happens in summer darkness. Thousands of individuals synchronize their flashing in perfect unison, entire trees pulsing with light like a collective heartbeat. This phenomenon occurs in Southeast Asia with Pteroptychs fireflies and in North America with Photinus carolinus in the Great Smoky Mountains. For years, Western scientists dismissed reports of synchronized flashing as observational error or coincidence. Surely insects couldn't coordinate with such precision. But careful study confirmed it. Males flash in coordinated waves, each individual adjusting its rhythm to match its neighbors through a process called pulse coupling. The biological mechanism remains partially mysterious, but it appears to amplify the mating signal. A synchronized flash is more visible to females than scattered individual flashes. No leader directs the synchronization. It emerges from simple interactions between thousands of individuals, each responding to the flashes around them. Watching this creates an almost hypnotic effect, the darkness pulsing with living light, proof that even simple creatures can create complex beauty through cooperation. The night forest transformed into a collaborative bioluminescent symphony. Fact 152. The Nazca Lines and astronomical alignment. In the Peruvian desert, ancient people created enormous geoglyphs, the Nazca Lines, between 500 BCE and 500 CE, drawings so large they can only be properly seen from the air, though aircraft wouldn't exist for another 1,400 years. Among the figures of spiders, monkeys, and hummingbirds are perfectly straight lines extending for kilometers across the desert floor. Recent research suggests many lines align with astronomical events, particularly the rising and setting positions of significant stars and constellations on the horizon. Some lines point toward the June solstice sunset, others toward the December solstice sunrise. The Nazca people, lacking written language, may have created these massive desert markers as a calendar system, the lines functioning as sight lines to track celestial cycles. During specific nights of the year, observers standing at certain points would see particular stars rising or setting directly along the lines, marking crucial agricultural moments. The desert itself became an astronomical instrument, the land and sky working together, human effort bridging Earth and cosmos. These ancient desert astronomers understood that the patterns written in the night sky governed earthly cycles, and they literally inscribed that understanding into the land itself, creating a monument to humanity's need to map and understand the night. Fact 153. Sleep debt and recovery. Your body keeps a precise accounting of sleep, and the debt accumulates with interest. When you sleep less than your body requires, you don't just feel tired. You accrue sleep debt that has measurable biological effects. Studies show that sleeping 6 hours per night for 2 weeks produces cognitive impairment equivalent to staying awake for 2 full days straight, yet subjects often don't recognize their own deterioration. The effects compound. Reaction time slows, memory consolidation weakens, immune function decreases, and emotional regulation falters. Most concerning, you can't accurately judge your own impairment. People who are severely sleep-deprived often insist they're functioning normally. The good news is that sleep debt can be repaid, though not at a 1-to-1 ratio. After chronic sleep restriction, you need several nights of extended sleep to restore function, and some effects on learning and memory may be irreversible. The body prioritizes deep sleep and REM sleep during recovery, packing more of these critical stages into available sleep time. Evolution shaped sleep as non-negotiable, a biological imperative that cannot be bargained with or postponed indefinitely without consequence. Fact 154. The Star of Bethlehem Theories. The Star of Bethlehem, which supposedly guided wise men to Jesus' birth, has fascinated astronomers for centuries, prompting numerous attempts to identify the actual celestial event. In 7 BCE, Jupiter and Saturn aligned 3 times, a triple conjunction visible in the night sky that ancient astrologers would have considered highly significant. Chinese astronomical records note a nova or comet visible around 5 BCE. In 3 to 2 BCE, Jupiter and Venus came so close they would have appeared as a single brilliant star in the western evening sky. Some researchers suggest the star was purely symbolic rather than astronomical. Others propose a rare planetary alignment or a supernova. The challenge is that we don't know the exact year of Jesus' birth. Scholarly estimates range from 7 BCE to 2 BCE. Each proposed explanation requires matching uncertain historical dates with known astronomical events. What's certain is that ancient peoples watched the night sky with far greater attention than modern city dwellers, noting any unusual celestial event and investing it with prophetic meaning. Whether the Star of Bethlehem was Jupiter, Venus, a comet, a supernova, or myth, it reflects humanity's ancient belief that the night sky communicated divine messages to those who watched carefully. Fact 155. Hedgehogs and nocturnal foraging. The humble hedgehog, spiny and unassuming, has perfected nocturnal life in ways that allowed it to thrive for 15 million years virtually unchanged. These small mammals emerge at dusk and can travel up to 2 kilometers per night searching for insects, worms, slugs, and snails. They possess an acute sense of smell and hearing to compensate for relatively poor eyesight, snuffling through undergrowth with surprising speed. Hedgehogs are one of the few mammals with natural immunity to many snake venoms, allowing them to hunt and eat adders and vipers in darkness without fear. They've also developed partial immunity to toxins from the poisonous toads they consume. Perhaps most charmingly, hedgehogs engage in self-anointing. When encountering a strong scent or toxic substance, they create foamy saliva and spread it over their spines, possibly as additional protection or camouflage from predators. In autumn nights, hedgehogs consume enormous quantities of food to build fat reserves for hibernation, sometimes doubling their body weight. These ancient creatures, largely unchanged since the Miocene epoch, remind us that the night has always provided niches where small, specialized creatures could thrive away from daytime competition and predators.